You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. Wednesday Night. That includes AEW and NXT. Kyle Gagliardi, and my co-host, who is not Mr. Wednesday Night, is my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him,
What's?
Yeah, you didn't like that intro, did you?
Nope. Forgot about it.
I'm not going to let you forget about the fact that not only do I share the main roster belt with you,
Yeah.
I also beat you in the AEW Double or Nothing predictions and the NXT Takeover in your house predictions. Thoughts?
So the weather outside is nice. It's a great day. Unlike our day at wiffle ball yesterday, a lot less windy. Sun's out.
We were playing in tornado conditions, some might say.
It was
Ian?
It was a joke.
Did you see Ian's tweet?
Yeah.
It was like virtually playing in a tornado. Maybe not exactly.
No, not even close. It was windy. I never feared for my life. If there's a tornado near, I'm gonna hunker down. Not in the barn at Leroy.
No, not in there.
But yeah, it was all right.
It was a day.
We
Let's just
won,
say.
so
We
that
picked
makes
up
it
2
better.
wins, yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about wiffle ball. Yes, we play competitive wiffle ball here in Northwest Indiana. I know one of my followers, Michael, on Twitter, he asked me before the shows were starting last night, which one are you watching live? Because I know he also watches AEW and NXT, and I believe he's listened to a couple episodes. So if you're listening now, what's up, man? He was asking me, he's like, which one are you watching live tonight? And I had to tell him, I don't watch live anymore. I play wiffle ball. And he's like, oh, that's cool, man. I was like, yeah. I guess.
It is. It's something to do. It's fun. I enjoy the league. It's also nice knowing that we don't have to go to Griffle Ball every week.
Yes, the other league.
Yeah, and so Griffle Ball's back, resurgent, awesome first weekend.
Yeah.
Well,
Overall, it was a good
the
experience.
experience,
yes.
yeah, from looking for a big picture angle, it was a good experience.
The results is what I wasn't completely. I don't like facing you. not a big fan.
Yeah, shoulders still fried a little bit.
I was going to ask, how's the arm after
It's
2 days?
Attached. We're getting there. I think it'll be fine. I think it benefits me the most with the shoulder situation. So still going to physical therapy,
Rehabbing it.
Yeah. So life is good.
You were there today, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, just keeping busy, giving out lessons, doing rehab, and just staying
Took a
busy.
tour of the region: Maryville, Winnemac, Winfield.
Where's
Crown Point.
Winnemac exactly?
Like on your way to Knox. If you're going, it's east.
Who the hell ever goes to Knox?
Nobody.
Okay.
North Judson High School is really close. Yeah, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's basically what I expected when I asked, what's Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what?
Yep.
That's about it. But hey, at least people somewhat know Crown Point. If you say Crown Point to people.
Yeah. It's on the signs on the highway around.
Do you tell people Crown Point when you say
Now
it?
I do, yeah.
No, you don't say, oh, I'm from the Seasons.
No.
Oh, sorry for putting out where you live.
Yeah, well.
Don't worry, that's where I grew up.
It's big. You have to take your time to find me.
I think it's at what, like close to 10,000 people?
There's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people for a subdivision.
Yes.
People don't realize that's a big deal. But before we get into things, we got to remind the people that we are proudly a part of the Overtime Sports Network, as you probably already knew. Tucky, where can they find OTSN on social media? And I know we are getting closer to sports, so stick with us. But where can they find all the content once things start ramping back up?
On Twitter, @_OTSN. That's the Twitter handle. That's where you get all the updates from blogs and all the podcasts under the Overtime umbrella. So that's where you'll get all the updates. And then if you actually want the meat and potatoes of the blogs and things like that, you'll go to otsportsnetwork.com. I am working on I will be working on a Griffle Ball podcast or blog talking about the league. So that'll be up there for all you wiffle nerds.
That's right.
Wiffle boner.
We are the host of Griffle Talk with T. Walk and Ryan Vogus.
You are. Overtime Sports Network. Yeah. Okay, got it.
I was going to say, I'm not technically a part of that show anymore. I don't really want to associate my name with T-Walk anymore as much as possible.
Well, as a manager of an 0-10 franchise in Leroy Wiffle Ball, I don't know that I would either. Tacos are dead.
Yeah, as the bullet bourbon chalkboard to our left, and you're right, says for sure. But also, you could check us out on YouTube. That's where you see some of our prediction videos that we do. We decided we'd do it in podcast form this week. We're actually going to start off with NXT TakeOver recap, and then we'll go to our predictions. But all you have to do on YouTube is search Overtime Sports Network. Find that logo that you guys already probably know about. Hit the subscribe button. Give us a like and share it on Facebook and Twitter. But, Tucky, what do you say we talk some NXT?
Love it. It was a great show.
Yeah, Sunday night we were treated to a short and sweet, and that's the thing with these Corona times, was we're getting to the end of that, hopefully. Shorter shows, very compact. I believe it went for about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Kind of funny. I walked downstairs. I told Mista, all right, show's coming on. You know, she's like, okay, I'll be down. She made it. She saw one match.
What was the main event?
Yeah. Because she always, in her WWE clock, she's like, I'll give it a couple hours, and then the good stuff will kind of start popping up. And and I'm like, oh, this is the last match. She's like, what? I'm like, hey, Corona.
Yeah, Corona, that's what you got to do. But no, usually a normal show, you got 2 hours of a pre-show. You got 5 or 4 hours of a main card. It's exhausting. So it's nice that we kind of get a relief a little bit and we just get to the point.
And the thing that they're cutting out is the matches we don't need to see. Every match is delivering. We're not getting the Jinder Mahal Roman Reigns bathroom match.
Let's not talk about that.
It actually makes sense when you have a live crowd
to
put in those filler matches for the home crowd. You can hit the bathroom too. We're kind of you're kind of accommodating many people, but
like if you don't want to watch Natty versus Nia Jax, go take a shit.
Yeah, and that now you're kind of expecting these nice 2 to 3 hour packages, must see, must stay alert.
You can't really miss much.
Yeah, it's good.
No, I agree. And I believe Backlash has already been taped and it's in the can. So hopefully, and I'm probably assuming it will be under 3 hours, which it's a pretty big card actually, but we'll get to that. Like I said, we're going to talk about NXT TakeOver here, which kicked off in your house pay-per-view. First off, what do you think of that setup, that little nostalgic feel to it?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first few jabs at nostalgia. The Shawn Michaels and Triple H at the computer thing.
Yeah, the commercials.
It's kind of funny, though, because Triple H has to be one of the most technologically advanced people in the company.
Because he runs every show.
But it was fun. Or having the announcer back and doing those spots.
We don't know his name,
Yeah. Call the 1-900 numbers don't exist. So it was fun. The one thing that for me it was like we have this kind of fun throwback exterior facade, but we had some really heavy matches in it.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that they brought in some of those props and set into play later on because regardless of the appearance, it actually played a factor in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that made it a little more serious.
It kind of paced things out a little bit too. It's like that gap in between matches. Like you saw Tegan Knox have an ice cream bar. I forgot who she was with because whenever I see Tegan Knox on my screen, I just cancel out everybody else.
Yeah, I understand. You get the blurry from everywhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what happened here in that opening matchup. The babyface team of Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, and Shotzi Blackheart defeated the heels. Knox getting a big win in this one. She kind of needed it like we referenced on our predictions and preview video. Over Dakota Kai, kind of maybe ending that feud, I would assume, but I thought this was a very solid start. It wasn't the best match, but a good way to start off in your house. What do you think?
Yeah, we've certainly seen worse. The one thing that I've come to terms with is I think Mia Yim's walkout song is underrated.
I'm the HBIC. Isn't that what? Yeah, that's it. Okay, it's not bad.
I think it's got a little bump to it.
I think she's growing on us in general because we kind of ripped her a little bit a few months ago.
Keith Lee helps. Keith Lee.
They're Yimitless. Is that what they were saying?
So it was cool.
Yeah, for sure. So thoughts on Tegan being the one that got the win?
She needed it. What do you do with her if she takes the L?
There's not many directions. Like honestly, on anyone in this match who needed the win the most, Tegan Knox had to be the one. And smart booking decision, a good way to start the show, which then led us to Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. I thought this maybe, if not, the best, was a top 2 match on the card. Finn Balor got the win over Damian Priest, but I still feel like they did a good job here, Tuck, of putting over Damian Priest, making him look strong. He got a lot of good spots in this match, even though his shoulders were down for the 3 count.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where I think both guys end up winning, and Finn Balor certainly needs it. He now has the most takeover wins.
What is it, 11?
11, yep. So he gets that title or that name, and then Priest still looks like he's not a joke. He looks pretty serious. So I thought it was the best match of the night. That's my take.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It'd be like a 1A, 1B situation with the main event. But, definitely good to see Damian Priest showcase some of his talents, because I know we've talked about it on this show. We both are big fans of Damian Priest, and we think he could be big. So hopefully after this loss, he can regroup, build that character a little more, and then dive into a fresh new feud.
Yep, I agree.
Next in line, though, for the North American title, spoiler alert if you didn't watch NXT from this week, Finn Balor might be the one next in line. He defeated Cameron Grimes, and then he spoke virtually just straight into the camera, calling out Keith Lee, even though right before that match, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae picked up a win over Keith Lee. So I don't know if they're finished with the whole Johnny-Keith Lee thing, but Finn Balor calling out Keith Lee, interesting.
Well, and it is weird because although it was a mixed tag, Johnny got a win, Keith Lee has a win, whereas the,
triple threat possibility, but I don't know. That's 50-50 booking that they're doing doesn't help.
Right.
Like just swabbing with Lee and Gargano, and I don't know. But I thought Finn would maybe be the next one for the NXT Championship. But
Johnny and Finn have already had a feud.
Have they?
Right?
Yeah. No, they had a takeover match a couple months ago.
So it's like if Finn is trying to get in with Keith Lee, you could because there is a past tie there. It could become a triple threat.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe you can have, since Gargano picked up that win in the mixed tag on NXT this week, he gets one more title opportunity, and he probably comes up short again, and then we move on to the Prince, Finn Balor. Who knows? We'll see. But speaking of Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano, their North American title match was a very solid one at NXT TakeOver. Keith Lee obviously retained, as everyone knows by now. But I thought the storytelling in this one, specifically Tuck, was probably the strongest on the card. They're selling the fact that Gargano was attacking the Eye. He had the keys in his drawers, Mm-hmm. He had everything going for him. I do like how before he came out, he turned the thermostat to 69. That was a nice little touch.
What a savage.
Yeah, he is.
And it in this match, Gargano, it put him into this heel role even more, that that was almost a first option to go to instead of and he was doing anything he could to win, made Keith Lee look even stronger. Yeah. Johnny's kind of a boob now, being a heel.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, all heart, some boob.
No soul.
Yeah.
That's the
all heart, some boob, no soul.
That's the new tagline. So if Johnny starts using that, we win our royalties.
Yes,
WWE.
please.
Or you can get them. I didn't come up with that. Sorry. But overall, what did you think of the match itself?
Good. Very, very strong. We both picked Lee here,
mm-hmm.
and I think it was good for what it was.
Yeah, we both started off the show hot. 3 for 3, perfect record. And this is where the mighty falls. And when I say the mighty, I'm referring to you.
I'll take that.
You're welcome for that. But this is where I stayed perfect with the backlot brawl match. This one, this is a topic that has been heavily discussed on wrestling podcasts already and on Twitter. Not a lot of positivity. I want to hear what your thoughts were overall, especially with this match being right smack dab in the middle of the card.
Yeah, so with the placement of it, I felt like Cole was going to retain.
Yep.
And then because it was a backlot brawl, that made me think Cole was going to retain even more, especially as we got into it. Dexter Lumis pops up, makes me feel like Dream has a chance. I picked Dream. when that was done, when the match was over, I felt sad because those two don't need a cinematic match for it to be a banger. AJ Styles and The Undertaker, that was great given The Undertaker.
Yeah,
and
with the age and the shape he's in.
Yeah, and the Firefly Funhouse match, it was okay.
But it fits Bray's character.
Right. What was the Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Because it was
unique.
So different.
Yeah.
The Backlot Brawl, you could shoot that live. You could do something. But those two are so great at wrestling that I left with, it was like bittersweet. Like what would another match with those two be?
Give me an Iron Man match.
Something.
How do you end a feud like this and have Cole retain? Have him win in an Iron Man match. He wins 3-2 in the last second with the help of the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems a lot better because you said it. These are two of the best wrestlers that are on the planet right now, and you're putting them in this cinematic thing. And then now I feel like we're getting to that point where we're overdoing a good thing. We've liked most of the cinematic kind of things that have happened during these times, but why do this? You have weird camera angles. The car lights were kind of a distraction, I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like a mess. And honestly, one of my least favorite things from a takeover in a while.
The cars needed to be elevated on a ramp and pointing downward. I agree with the car light thing.
How about the Uber spot, too? That was so pointless.
Right.
They didn't even utilize it.
Shove them both in the van, drive them somewhere. Make it
fight somewhere.
Right. That unnecessary. The back lot, the facade of all those stores, random like
that's I think the actual back lot of Full Sail, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
It just wasn't good. And I mean, I know they tried, and you can tell that they put a lot of effort into it. And I even heard from some people on Twitter that they filmed that obviously Friday night, and there was a lot of rain going on, and they weren't able to actually start recording until midnight.
Dang.
So you got to feel like everybody there is drained. I mean, the referees, the cameramen.
You show up excited to get something done. It's like a rain delay when you're getting ready for a game. You kind of get dry humped, and it kind of sucks some of the energy out of you.
Yeah.
That adrenaline and things like that too. So
yeah.
All
so
right.
I think we're both in agreement. The right man probably won this.
Yeah.
But we don't need that, WWE.
Nope. Well,
pump the brakes.
And again, pick your spots. If you have two of the best wrestlers on the planet, maybe just let them wrestle each other.
I haven't seen an Iron Man match or Iron Woman match. I'm trying to think in NXT maybe since Sasha and Bayley in like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever seen that. It was on a takeover in Brooklyn, I believe.
That was a banger, wasn't it?
One of the best matches I've seen in WWE since I've been watching. So yeah, overall backlot brawl. We're giving that 2 thumbs down. Yeah, I wish we had your sound effect thing right there. After that, though, things picked up a little bit. We got Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa, and what most people expected happened, except if you're Jim Tucker, because he had Ciampa winning.
Well, here's my problem.
Here we go. He's trying to be different.
I make my picks with my heart and not rationally.
Yeah.
So I wanted Ciampa. I like Ciampa. I wanted him to win. Yeah. And when you brought it up that it should be a squash in under 60 seconds, I'm like, he's kind of right.
It wasn't that, but it kind of was.
It was not. Ciampa had a few spots, but man, who looks stronger than Karrion Kross right now?
No one.
Karrion Kross versus Adam Cole tomorrow. Who wins?
I think if it's tomorrow, there's going to be a DQ or some sorts.
I mean, like
if there's no shenanigans, Kross.
That puts you in a really good spot. Kross and Cole. It sounds like that might be the way they're going.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people didn't like how Kross was so dominant in this one, but I'm like, Tuck, how else are you supposed to book your newest, biggest heel?
Yeah, and Ciampa doesn't need it. Ciampa can come back next week and get into a really good program and still be a really good wrestler. So. That was my biggest regret pick. I still like picking the Dream over Cole, especially when Loomis shoved him in the trunk. I'm like, that was our in.
Next to Loomis, what a guy.
And then, that was my biggest regret. My second regret was the triple threat.
You almost went with me on that one. I think your wheels were spinning when we did our predictions. But Karrion Kross, big win over Tommaso Ciampa, and like you kind of said, Ciampa's already done it all in NXT. He really doesn't need this moment right now. So I thought it was a perfect way to book that one. And like you said, Karrion Kross, if you didn't watch NXT, well, he didn't show up. Scarlett did at the end. She was wearing all this, I think it's latex. It's like that really tight black. Yeah. Jesus. I know Vogus is probably feeling many kinds of ways watching that. She is talented, I tell you.
Yeah, one of a kind.
Rob Van Dam?
Yeah, okay.
One of a kind. Sorry, I had to get that in there. But, yeah, so it looks like Karrion Kross is moving on to the NXT Championship. And after that, the main event from Takeover in Your House was the NXT Women's Championship. I like how this main evented. I think that these three deserved it. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I thought probably second best match, co-best match of the night.
There's no way you could have had the cinematic match main event.
No. Especially after seeing it.
I was gonna say, what do you think it was planned to be the main event, and they pivoted because they know it didn't come out the way they wanted it to, or do you think it always was the plan?
I think if Dream would have got the title, it would have been the last one.
True.
Regardless of like after shooting and they put it together, but
yeah, this main event, the women's championship match, Io Shirai comes out on top. She is the new NXT women's champion. She pinned Rhea Ripley. I want to put that out there because that's important. Once again, I guess you could say they are protecting Charlotte. You know, a lot of people are going to complain about it, but I actually will agree with them on this one. Why not have Charlotte take the pin?
Yeah, well, if you're trying to establish and maintain NXT's viability among the three brands, that would have been a great way to do it.
And if Charlotte is done with NXT, then definitely why not do it?
Yeah.
Like, if there's nothing else for Charlotte to do in NXT, losing to Io Shirai in a triple threat's not going to damage her.
No, Charlotte Flair is Charlotte Flair.
She had a match with Asuka the next night.
She's the GOAT. I know.
She actually had two matches, didn't she? Wasn't she in a tag with?
She was in a tag, and I thought that was the way to spin her out of it, and then that match still happened.
She's the Iron Woman right now of WWE.
No kidding. She's Adam Cole Survivor Series weekend right now when he showed up every night.
That's true. God, I missed that. Man, when Adam Cole was on the main roster.
Wild, yeah.
That was fun. And hopefully we'll see that soon, but I think it was a little weird now after seeing Io win this match that Charlotte won at WrestleMania. What was the point of Charlotte winning NXT Championship? Was it just to add another belt to her resume? Because why not just have Rhea drop it to Io? What's the problem with that?
Right. WrestleMania?
Yeah, but so you still have that match. Have Charlotte lose to Rhea Ripley clean, and have Rhea lose to Io at next TakeOver. Like, why can't they do that?
Yeah.
Why can't you give a young star like Rhea Ripley, who's 23 years old, a win over Charlotte Flair?
At this point, it doesn't matter what Charlotte does.
She doesn't need a belt right
now.
No. And unfortunately, they're booking her like Roman Reigns from a few years ago. Yeah. It's not going well on Twitter.
Yeah,
she has turned into Roman Reigns in 2020, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It means you're doing something right. So, overall, NXT TakeOver in your house. Give me a letter grade.
I'm going to give it a B.
Yeah?
Well, that was good.
I was going to say B as well.
Here's the question. What was better, in your house or Double or Nothing?
That's tough. And it's kind of hard for me, too, because I actually rewatched In Your House because I have the network. I really, like I told you on a couple episodes ago, Double or Nothing was a little fuzzy for me. Because I had adult beverages and whatnot, but I think I would still say Double or Nothing.
I said NXT.
Barely.
In my head.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it had the stronger wrestling. You can't dispute that, obviously, but
right.
I think from top to bottom, AEW, I don't know. I have to rewatch it again and really get a big grasp on it. But I'd give it a B as well. I thought it was a good show. Obviously not one of the better takeovers, but once again, with the no crowd thing, it's still weird. It's still weird for me. I'm not going to
lie. Could be better. But in Indiana, things are opening up sooner than expected. And
tomorrow,
the more we learn about coronavirus, asymptomatic people are tough to transmit it as well. So it's
that's a new thing.
More things are coming out where I think early on we were like, no fans forever. I think we're going to get them back sooner than we thought.
I think AEW already started booking events in October.
Let's go.
Like, they're like putting it on their Instagram and everything. Like, hey, get tickets now. So AEW shooting for that. You know, Vince is going to try to get there first.
Jericho's booking for his cruise in February or whatever. So
we just need the fans back, because especially in the WWE right now with their like forced chants that they are doing right now.
It almost feels like one of those trash talk shows where they're like cueing the crowd to react to certain
applause,
laugh, applause, clap, boo, yeah.
Fall and pray. Like, I hate God, they ruined Karrion Kross's entrance by doing that. I'm just gonna get that out of there before we move on to Backlash. Overall excitement for WWE Backlash 2020. 1 out of 10, Tuck.
Yeah, here's my thing. I'm kind of down there, but I also think it could be a sneaky good card.
That's what Vogus said, because he said whenever you have low expectations, that's usually when they deliver.
The worst match of the night is probably going to be Randy Orton and Edge, because this is the greatest show.
You're telling me that the greatest wrestling match ever is going to be the worst?
Well, they're kind of walking that back now. It still says on the graphic the greatest match ever, but everyone else prefaces it with, some are saying what it could maybe be what the greatest match ever.
Even, I don't know if you follow Edge on Twitter. It's like at Adam Copeland or whatever. He's even like referencing, this is the greatest thing that I've done today or something like that. And he puts it in caps. He's just trolling it right now.
Yeah. So
he obviously knows that even that's kind of stupid that they're labeling it that. But we got this card from CBS Sports, and I'm not 100% if these matches are official yet. Once again, we're recording this on a Thursday, so anything can happen between these next few days. But we are going to assume, after all the shenanigans that these two have been doing, after the decathlon that they did this Monday, that we have the Raw Tag Team Championship match between the champions who just hit their 100-day mark, Tuck, of their reign, the Street Profits, versus the Viking Raiders. Would you like to go first, or should I tell you what Mikey's got and then you go?
Well, I'll go. I think the Street Profits are going to win. My concern is that what do you do with the Viking Raiders after? The Street Profits can kind of do their own thing forever. I want the I think I just talked myself out of it. Shit.
Dun dun. Dun dun.
I'm going Viking Raiders.
Oh, and a last-second decision.
What do you do with the Viking Raiders if they lose this match?
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't even know.
They are a tag. Street Profits can get by without the titles and still
be entertaining and over.
I think.
And they can do the flip-flop thing that they love to do with the belts in the tag division for sure. Mikey Wilson agrees with you. He's going with he's going with the Viking Raiders. But what he would like to see, he's not predicting this, is a heavy machinery cash-in. But he's not quite sure you can hop brands like that. But he was thinking, like we talked about episodes ago, what if Otis uses that briefcase to get the tag belts? So, I mean, obviously I don't think there's a chance that happens, right?
I hope not.
Yeah, you don't want
it. I want Otis draped in gold.
That is kind of
his own gold.
Okay, wow, singles. Just putting Tucky to the curb, putting yourself there. All right, I'm going to go the opposite of you guys. And once again, we do these predictions with a couple of our loyal listeners, Mikey Wilson and Ryan Vogus. Aaron Oroz is taking a back seat this week because of his girlfriend. So you two are going with the Viking Raiders. I am going with the Street Profits. And you even talking about what do you do with the Viking Raiders after this kind of almost made me flip, but I'm trying to win this belt. I don't want to share that shit with you anymore. If this match happens, I want the smoke. I want the retain. Give me the Street Profits.
All right.
You want to introduce the match that might happen next?
The next one that could maybe happen, could quite possibly be a match at Backlash. Seth Rollins versus Aleister Black.
Yeah, it's this could be the greatest wrestling match of the night.
It honestly could. When I look at the card, I think Apollo Crews and Andrade could be a great match. Edge and Orton, obviously. I think
Asuka, Nia Jax.
Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, the way they booked Lashley, I think that could be sneaky good.
Lashley. R.I.P.
I came to collect.
He hates that theme, by the way.
Unemployment.
Yeah, he said that on Twitter.
Really?
He said he hated that theme.
Well, I liked it.
Yeah, so did I. I thought it kind of slapped. But if this matchup does happen, you have to assume you're going to have his disciples ringside, Austin Theory, Murphy, and I wouldn't be surprised if Humberto Carrillo's there as well because he's kind of been buddies with Black.
Yeah.
Who do you got if this match were to happen? Mikey Wilson is going with Seth Rollins.
I think this is a pretty tough one to pick because you can use this to start sending Black on an upward trajectory. You can also give Seth the win because he has that a little bit more protection, which also makes Black, he can look good in defeat still. And this is one that I'm picking with my heart.
Uh-oh.
Aleister Black.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew you were going that direction.
Is that where you're going?
It's not where I'm going.
Okay.
I am going with the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. I think the fact that he lost that match to Drew McIntyre and he is now a bad guy, he needs to start picking up wins because you can be a heel all you want. If you're not getting it done in the ring, I can't take you seriously. So
Yeah.
Aleister Black's been on a heater. He's still hot. Once the crowds come back, they're going to get behind him. But I think right now it makes more sense to keep this feud going possibly, get the others involved in a bigger match down the road. And I have Seth Rollins winning against Aleister Black. And these next couple matches here, actually more than a couple, it's like 5 or 6. We know these matches are happening, so these definitely will count towards the belt. The first matchup here, Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. This matchup, the route to it has been somewhat controversial, using the past history of Jeff Hardy with the drinking and driving and whatnot. I personally don't mind it. I think bringing a little bit of realism into professional wrestling is what we need. And if you didn't watch the Attitude Era, you probably were offended then if you didn't like this.
Okay, so we complain about wrestling when it's too gimmicky, and then we complain about wrestling when it's too close to the truth. If you watched through the entire episode, Jeff Hardy comes back.
Yeah.
He's not drunk.
Nope.
The next weekend, complete. So it paints Sheamus in a negative light, but it also shows that Jeff's not in that place. He's still not in that space where he's back to drinking in that dark place. Jeff had to approve it.
That's what I was thinking, too. And Matt Hardy even tweeted about it. He's like, I'm very thankful to be in All Elite Wrestling. I'm like, bro, your brother probably approved of this. And if you were in WWE, this is probably a storyline you would have liked.
And Jeff Hardy's in that space. He doesn't need to wrestle. Like, he doesn't have to wrestle.
Yeah.
His career is great. He's had a great career.
Hall of Famer.
So he also has that, I feel like he could have that leverage where he's like, dude, I'm not putting myself in that spot.
Yeah.
But if you roll it out and say, hey, we're going to make it look this way, but we're definitely going to make it known that it was not you, we're fine.
How's Elias doing? Have we checked in on Elias? He apparently got hit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know.
They're like, how did we get Elias off TV? That's the real reason they did this.
Hit him.
Hit him with a car.
There we go.
It works every time.
He gone.
Mikey Wilson going with Sheamus in this one. I feel like this is a coin flip, Tuck. What do you want me to go first?
I would like you to go first. I do think it could go either way. I have my pick typed into the box.
Do I have a coin around? No, I don't. I literally was about to flip a coin. I honestly have no idea because I think both guys do need a win.
Yeah.
Like they desperately would lose a little bit of momentum if they get the loss here, but it's always easier for the heels to do something and cheat, find a way to win, and the babyface doesn't look bad. So with that in mind, I'm going with the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Don't want him to win.
Sheamus. I picked Jeff Hardy.
Really?
And it's going to make him look great because he overcame such a tough angle. And this is kind of a way for WWE to repay the negative press they potentially got from it.
Could you imagine Jeff Hardy gets this win here and say AJ Styles wins the IC title? An AJ Styles Jeff Hardy feud sounds good to me.
Yeah. Could you imagine Jeff Hardy wins and goes to the turnbuckle and smashes 2 beers?
Oh, jeez. Oh, the internet would go up in flames. But no, that's an interesting pick. That could be one of those make or break matches, and that's what's fun about like these kind of pay-per-views like Backlash. You really don't know what direction they can go. And
that one could be a good match. Jeff Hardy's a little bit slower now.
Yeah.
But it could end up being good. The Rollins versus Black one could be great. Tag match could be good. This next one, Apollo Crews versus Andrade, could be a banger.
Yeah.
And I'm interested. This is another type of coin flip. Do you give Apollo Crews?
This is tough too. These are tough. They're not easy.
Yeah. Do you give Apollo Crews the title, or do you let him retain the title and continue being that kind of champ, or do you have Andrade take it back? Mikey picked Andrade, correct?
Yes, he did, and he texted me Andrade. He wanted me to emphasize roll them.
Yeah, got it.
Roll those R's.
I can't do that, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah, you're welcome for that. I'll go first once again, and I'll let you go first next time.
Cool.
I am going with Apollo Crews, and this is more with me wanting Andrade to take that step up on the card. I want him to be in the main title scene. And I think that the guy they want to have that U.S. title next is Angel Garza. And I think Angel Garza could maybe cost Andrade in this matchup. They've kind of been butting heads a little bit.
Well, and that's where I go with my Crews pick as well. The turmoil within Zelina Vega's faction right now is very real. And this could be a tipping point for a move to be made where Andrade splits off, or something to that effect, where after this match, that faction is not what it doesn't look the way it used to.
I think Andrade is the one that needs to stay with Zelina, though. I feel like Angel Garza has more of the natural charismatic ability to be good on his own. So
people forget he proposed on TV.
I know. I tweeted that out. I was like, are we just going to forget that this man's married and he's flirting with Charlie Caruso, which I don't blame him for doing.
Yeah. Tough spot, though, on national TV, though. Wife at home can watch.
She can't be happy with that.
Unlike my wife listening to our podcast, not great odds.
Is she listening right now, you think? No?
She's definitely not listening right now as we record. But.
All right, asshole. We have to be specific. We're going to say hi to people. What's up, Alyssa? How you doing? I go with Crews. What's up, girl? So I'm going with Crews. You're going with Crews. Mikey Wilson going Andrade.
Baby, you're a song. You make me want to roll my windows down and see Apollo Crews. Yeah,
I saw where you were going with that. One of the 16 songs on my country playlist. And my name says Kyle's Country with quotations.
Yeah.
Because I like to blur the line a little bit. But this next one, sounding like a broken record, it's going to be difficult to choose, I think. You have the Women's Tag Team Championship, which is nice to see that they are utilizing these belts once again. They kind of went stagnant with Asuka and Kairi Sane as champions.
Yes.
We got Bayley and Sasha, the new tag team champions. We haven't been able to talk about that.
Yeah, flipped the title on TV. We'll take it.
Main event on SmackDown. They haven't been shy on SmackDown. I feel like it's getting a little better.
I do agree, because this past Raw was okay.
Raw's lacking stars. That's what they're lacking. There's not many people that make me want to tune into Raw. And I even tweeted about it. I was like, why do I not feel like watching Raw tonight? Tough spot. I honestly, if SmackDown was on Mondays, like that roster and the way they book it, that'd be much better. But
I looked at the time. It was like 8:20. I'm like, oh, my God. We're not even halfway here.
It drags. Raw drags. It's not Power Rankings. It's now on our last.
It's probably 3. It's got to be, or 4.
4
with AEW, yeah.
Are you still AEW for NXT? Were you on the Power Rankings of
NXT?
You're an NXT guy?
Yeah.
I think I'm still AEW.
AEW, SmackDown, Raw now.
Yeah. AEW, NXT, SmackDown, Raw for me. But the Women's Tag Team Championships, we got Bayley and Sasha, Bliss and Cross versus the Iconics. We did the pose, and nobody can see it.
Good pod.
Mikey is going with the Iconics.
Jesus.
They can't see us doing it, but we're doing it. And you know what we're doing when we say we're doing it.
Yep.
So he's going with 2-time. So that would be the third 2-time Women's Tag Team Champions in the Iconics.
Ooh, oh yeah, Bayley and Sasha, yeah.
The Boss and Hug connection, as they like to be called. Where are you rolling with here?
I'm going with the Iconics. And the reason I say is because I think they benefit from it being a triple threat the most. Bayley and Sasha have star power. Bliss and Cross have this newfound energy chemistry. Alexa Bliss is great, and Nikki Cross has certainly been
evolving.
Helped. Yeah. Yes, the Iconics have been getting a push. They've arrived on the scene. They beat Bliss and Cross.
That's true. I forgot about that. It's good to know.
And I think they can find a way to sneak it out.
Like they did at WrestleMania against Bayley and Sasha.
Bayley and Sasha don't need it. Bliss and Cross just had it. So that's where I'm going. How about you, good sir?
I was thinking Bayley and Sasha, but the more I think about it is I think we need a little more dissension between those two because there's no one really left on the SmackDown roster, I think, that could take that belt from Bayley. So another way to kind of just get a little more crack in that relationship is to lose the belts once again. Mm-hmm. And I think that them winning the belts was just a way to get the belts onto the Iconics. Mm. And I think we can have an Iconics Bliss and Cross feud out of this because they've really never had their 2-on-2 matchups. So we create that dissension with Sasha and Bayley, just that slow burn. You add it to their resume once again. I mean, Bayley and Sasha, great resume already. Yep. So that's good. And the Iconics are probably the best tag team in this match. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Iconics as well.
It's the first sweep of the day.
And if you're listening, Ryan Vogus, and you haven't sent us the predictions, you might want to go opposite of us.
Yeah.
Gain some traction there in the predictions. So, Tuck, we are now here. Finally, we can discuss the greatest wrestling match ever between Edge and Randy Orton.
Yes.
What are we thinking here?
Yes.
Were you Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Yes.
This one's kind of tough because there are ways for you to book it to extend the feud, or you can give it a clean break and send Edge somewhere else. Then what do you do with Orton? As Mikey said, Edge wins via Orton DQ, right?
That's the way that Mikey sees this one going, which makes sense because the next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules, and then they can have a final match that's an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't hate it, but
I
don't know if I agree with it. What are you thinking here?
I just think Edge needs a win to bring him back.
I mean, he won at WrestleMania.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you talking about?
Yeah, to prove that he's back and can win a real wrestling match. Orton's probably going to win, huh?
I mean, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm letting you decide first, unless you just want me to jump the gun.
This one's tough. I'm going Orton.
Orton clean, then, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I also am going with Randy Orton because I don't think this is the end of this. Just based on the circumstances going on in the world, once again, I think they're going to keep protecting Edge right now, slowly get him back into things. He trusts Randy Orton. You can have good matches with Randy. You have the history and all that. So to even up the series, because if you just have Edge beat Randy twice, it does nothing for Randy Orton. Randy Orton's been great on the mic and everything. So I think Randy Orton's a smart play here. So we are going with Randy Orton, and Mikey Wilson is going with Edge based on the fact that Randy will get DQ'd.
Yeah.
Overall,
that's a bold strategy.
It makes sense, though. I don't hate that. I mean, it's a way of going at it, but
see, Orton could end up winning resorting to a method like that where the ref's not watching or something as well, and that can fuel Edge to come back on a heater and really propel him. I don't know.
It's another difficult one to pick, that's for sure. But they have a lot of ways they can go with this one. Let's just hope it's a little shorter on the time than the Last Man Standing match.
Please.
That boy was dragging through the mud. I know I referenced AJ Styles a little earlier. I know this matchup's not on the Backlash card, but tomorrow, as we're recording this on Thursday, is the IC title match between Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. Are you still on the AJ Styles train for that?
I think so, yeah. I don't know why they would do it on SmackDown. Just put it on Backlash. But
yeah, I'm surprised they're not doing it. Get eyes on SmackDown.
No doubt.
Because who wouldn't want to watch Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles?
Yeah.
I know I'll watch. Don't know if it'll be live because Asada might be in the plans.
Hey-o.
They'll fall through. Yep. Those plans are going to fall through. I already am banking on them falling through. Whether that be something comes up in my plans or something comes up in there.
Hey, if bar's open tomorrow,
let's go.
Watch out.
Hey, next weekend's my birthday weekend, technically.
Let's go.
We're going to have to do something.
Yeah, I still got to take a body shot.
Off of Mikey Wilson. Let's just refer that. Got some heat on Twitter about that body shot thing.
Who?
AWI Pod throwing shade at me.
Why?
I don't know, because I said I wanted to be on their Silly Slam whatever show, and they were saying that, we didn't invite you because we figured you'd be doing body shots with your boys.
Okay. I mean...
It's 2020. Why are you shaming me?
Well, and we're friends. If I'm going to take if I want to take a body shot of my friend, I can.
Yeah.
Bring your body here. I'll take a body shot off of you. I don't care.
What a jabroni.
We're pod friends.
Come on. We're on the same network here.
Yeah, I don't care.
Next matchup here, the Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka and Nia Jax. I really do not have a lot to say about this.
Probably the easiest pick one right here.
You would think Asuka is great. Asuka should win, and Mikey agrees with me. So we both go Asuka.
I also went Asuka, and that's Asuka talk.
Asuka talk with OTM. The final two matches here, I don't know if they will actually be the last two because the Universal title match is an interesting one. We have the champ, Braun Strowman, facing off in a handicap match, Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Miz and Morrison. And it's interesting, too, because so the guy that gets the win, if it were Miz or Morrison, they're the champ, or are they both the champions? I'm confused.
I think that whoever gets the pin is the champ.
And that's probably how Braun will retain, because there'll be tension on Miz and Morrison being selfish.
They almost might knock each other out to try to get the pin, which leads to a Braun win.
I think it's Braun Strowman.
I also think it's Braun Strowman. I don't... How does this dude get booked like a monster? He freaking slaps Goldberg, and then he can't...
That's true.
He can't
beat two guys.
These two. If it was him versus two Goldbergs, probably not. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of pairs you could put together that would beat Braun Strowman, but I don't think this is one of them. And I'm going with Braun.
Yeah, Mikey Wilson also going with Braun. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a clean sweep. And I also was thinking, I was like, if Miz and Morrison win, who would be next in line? Like, who do you have face Miz and or Morrison?
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan? Matt Riddle maybe, but you're not going to just throw Matt Riddle into the Universal title scene.
Universal title.
Yeah.
Like, this is the biggest title.
You also can't forget the Fiend's got to be lurking.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in the middle of the match, after the match. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks, so...
Got that tight of Miz.
Yeah, that's also true. I forgot about that. Good point there. So, clean sweep here. We are going with Braun Strowman to retain his Universal title, which then takes us to the final match of Backlash. I would assume this would be the main event. It is the WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre, the champ, taking on Bobby Lashley.
Jesus.
And this one is intriguing. I'm going to say that because I am going with... Actually, no, I'm going to let you go first.
You're going with Bobby Lashley?
Am I?
I don't know. I'm going with Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
And
let's talk about that.
Think Drew McIntyre wins, which puts dissension in the Bobby Lashley crew right now in this interesting dynamic between MVP and Lana. I think Lana shows up somehow, makes it about her. Bobby Lashley
always does.
And Lana get a divorce, and then it's Lashley MVP, rocket to the top so they can lose again somewhere down the line. Lashley.
Maybe Lana will be out there. She'll be making a TikTok and then distracts Bobby Lashley.
I just don't think it's been long enough to introduce MVP, and all of a sudden Lashley's just this ultra stud that he's been lately.
Yeah, he has been on a roll.
He has.
They've been booking him well,
and I actually don't hate it when he shows up on screen lately. I just think McIntyre wins.
They're finally, I think, starting to understand how to use Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
And I think having MVP out there helps. But Mikey Wilson is going with a new WWE champion in Bobby Lashley. He thinks with MVP and Lana interfering, that is how he is going to get the win. So it's obviously not going to be clean. And he thinks that this would eventually then lead to a possible cage match at Extreme Rules where Drew can win it back, which I don't hate it, but it's a bold strategy, Cotton. What do you think?
No doubt. I do like it. I'm kind of playing on the opposite effect of that, but that's a championship type call for Mikey. This is the only thing towards the bottom half of the card that somebody disagrees on. The weird part about it is that this could potentially, 4 or 5 matches in, the belt could be determined already because we agree on a lot.
Very true. And
Mikey's got edge over Orton, and then you and I have the same picks, the bottom part of the card. So this could be what some are calling the greatest pick of all time. It could some say that.
Some are saying
that's a championship type call, a ballsy strategy. It's a far more convincing case than his pick for Tamina to win the Money in the Bank.
I would agree. Yeah.
So, I think Vince has to love Drew McIntyre as a champion.
Who doesn't?
Right?
Who doesn't? I agree with you.
Yeah,
he's been a great champion,
and you have to keep people tuning in. So when you get back to live, they want to do it. I don't think Lashley has that star power at the moment to make people want to tune in the way Drew has established since WrestleMania. This is the closed venues have become a perfect format for him. That's the only way he's been champion.
True.
So he's had to learn how to connect to the audience that he can't see, and that's why I think he wins.
To be a champion, whether that's in the WWE or if that's in sports, you gotta sometimes risk it to get the biscuit. You know, I don't want to be sharing belts with you for months on end. That's not fun.
Right.
I'm going with a new WWE champion in Bobby Lashley, and I have a few reasons, Tuck.
Okay.
The current world we're in right now with the Black Lives Matter movement, I think this is a perfect opportunity to put the strap on Bobby Lashley. And obviously this is a racial thing, but if they didn't put the belt on Bobby Lashley, I think people would be ripping WWE for burying Bobby Lashley during this current climate right now.
I hate this.
I think it makes most sense from a public company like the WWE to put the strap on Bobby Lashley. He's never had it before in his entire career. Why not right now when there's no fans in the crowd? If there were fans around, I still say you ride Drew McIntyre because he'd probably still be getting pops. I also think if you give this title to Bobby Lashley now, you let Drew win it back when there's fans and you get that pop that you wanted at WrestleMania 36, right?
Very convincing argument.
I'm not confident with it. It just the whole BLM movement and everything right now,
which we're in support of.
Oh, 100%.
We're not. This is not where we're going. And when I said I hate this, I meant I hate your compelling argument behind.
That makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
And like we said, they've been booking him well enough where I won't get mad if you put the strap on Bobby Lashley right now because they've done a good job at building him back up. And what happens if Bobby loses this one? Especially if Bobby loses it clean? He's done in WWE. Put him on TNA again. If not now, when? That's my point. Why not Bobby Lashley? Why not right now? It is 2020. Put the strap on Bobby. He can lose it at Extreme Rules like Mikey was insinuating, or lose it at SummerSlam where we could potentially have fans in the stands. Bobby Lashley, new WWE champion.
You want to go to SummerSlam?
Where's that?
I don't know.
That's true. We don't know.
You want to
go? Bring it to Lucas Oil.
If school starts and we're in this hybrid model and I'm not in the building every day, come on now.
Dude, imagine that pop, though. If Drew does lose this belt here and we wait till the fans come back and he beats Bobby Lashley when the fans are there.
That's not going to be as good.
It's going to be a great moment.
Nope.
It's going to be a great moment.
Nope.
Do I want this to happen? No. Would I hate it? Absolutely not, because I think if there's any time to put the strap on Bobby Lashley, it's right now.
I have enjoyed what they've done with Bobby Lashley, though. He has been entertaining. So this is going to be a funky card here. There's a lot of, and the last couple picks, we could go into it tied up. So two of us could be swept under the rug.
Mikey could have a big lead.
Mikey could have, Mikey and I agree on 1, 2, 3, 4 matches. You and Mikey agree on 1, 2,
not many.
3,
right?
4, 5 matches.
Oh, okay.
You and I agree on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches as well. And there's 9 matches we've got listed here. So there's a lot of funky back and forth. The last two, the Edge and Orton one is going to be big. potentially for us or Mikey, and then you and I agree on that, and then that McIntyre-Lashley match is going to be big for myself or you and Mikey. So,
and I think the person that has the biggest advantage right now is Ryan Vogus, who's probably listening.
Yeah,
he knows everyone's picks. He knows where we're heading in this direction. And if you live in the Northwest Indiana area and you are relatively close with us, I know Ian doesn't watch WWE as much, but
I'm not driving the title to Terre Haute.
We're not going to drive the title. So I was going to say, if you're interested in joining our predictions, or if you're just a listener and want to get involved in the predictions, you won't win the belt, but you can take some pride in saying
the belt is between the five of us, or
the four horsemen.
Whenever Aaron, the four horsemen and the glue guy.
Exactly.
The horses and the glue.
That makes sense. What a stable that is. Just coming to what's the Black Label Pro?
Black Label Pro.
We're taking over right there. Oh, Takeover. We talked about that today. Come on. I think that's a great way to end the show. Tucky, you got anything else?
I don't. Lot of this has a potential to be a really good card. Triple threat has me excited. Rollins Black tag team. I'm not thrilled for the Braun match, but
not at all.
Cruz and Andrade.
That and Asuka and Nia Jax.
I think Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley could be great. So yeah, we'll see. My excitement after making our picks has risen. Yeah, so I'm at like a 4 out of 10 now.
He is risen.
Yes.
I'm at like a 3.
Okay.
A soft 3.
Soft 3.
Story of my life.
Hey-o.
That's good. Alrighty.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all I got. On that note, we're ending this fucking show. There's only like 10 people listening right now anyways. I don't care.
Thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling
Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark Podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter at PodOnTheMark.